Good day, sir. My name is Lwandle Dlamini, and I will be explaining part 3 of the POE. In part 3, the main focus was to add the final features to the Quick Chat app. This is about storing message data, working with arrays, reading stored messages from a JSON file, searching messages, deleting messages, and displaying reports. The first class I want to explain for part 3 is the message reports class. This is the main class I added for the reporting section. Instead of putting all the report code inside of the main class, which is the ProgPOE.java, I created this class to keep the program cleaner and easier to understand. So at the top of the class, I created arrays to store the message information. These arrays are sent message, disregarded message, stored messages, message hashes, message IDs, receipts, all messages, and message flags. The reason I use arrays here is because the part 3 is specifically asking us to create and work with arrays. So each array stores a different part of the message data. For example, message IDs stores all the message IDs, and the message hashes store all the message hashes. I also have counters like sent counter, stored counter, disregarded count, and message count. These help the program know how many spaces in the arrays are actually filled. The most important method here is the add message. This method takes in the message ID, message hash, receipt, message text, and the message flag. The flag tells the report whether the message was sent, stored, or disregarded. So when a message is added, the message stores the information in the arrays. Then it also checks the flag. If the flag is sent, it goes into the message arrays. If it is stored, it goes into the stored messages array. If it is disregarded, it goes into the disregarded message array. This is how my arrays are populated without hard coding the app itself. The first report feature is displaying the sender and receipt of the stored message. The method displays stored sender and message receipt loops through the message data and only looks for messages marked as stored. If then displays the sender as developer and shows the receipt number and shows the receipt number. So this answers the part 3 requirements way. The user must be able to display the sender and receive all stored messages. The next method is the display longest stored message. This method searches through the stored messages and keeps track of the longest one. It compares the length of each stored message and returns the one with the most characters. So if one message says hi and the other message is a full sentence, the full sentence will be returned as the longest message. Then the next feature is searching by message ID. The method search by message ID details takes the ID that the user enters and compares it with the message with the IDs stored in the message arrays. Message IDs array. If it finds a match, it displays the correct receipt and message. If it does not find it, it displays or it returns message ID not found. Then I have search by receipt, which is the method where it searches through the receipt array. If the user enters a receipt number, the app finds and displays all messages linked to that number. For example, in the POE test data, the number that was entered has stored 2 messages, so both messages should be displayed. Delete by hash. Another important method is the delete by message hash. This method searches the message hashes array for the hash entered by the user. Once it finds the correct hash, it removes that message from the arrays. To remove it properly, the program shifts the remaining array value to the left, so there is no empty gap in the middle. So this means that the message is not only hidden, it is removed from the report's data. The JSON file. Part 3 also requires stored messages to read from the JSON file. The method reads stored messages from file, opens the stored messages JSON file, and reads its contents. The load JSON text extracts the message ID, hash, receipt, and message text. After that, it calls the add messages and loads those stored messages into the array. This means messages saved in the JSON file can be used again in the Part 3 report display. The last main feature in this class is the reports. The display stored report displays the full details of stored messages. It shows the message hash, receipt, and message. This makes it easier for the user to see all the stored message information in one place. So in the second class that I'm going to explain is the main class, which is the ProgPOE.java. In the ProgPOE.java, I added a message reports object when QuickChat opens. This object is used to manage all the parts 3 arrays and the reports. So I added a fourth menu option called stored messages. So now the main menu has send messages, show recently sent messages, quiz, and stored messages. When the user chooses option 4, the program opens the stored message menu. In the stored message menu, the user gets 7 options. The first option is display the sender and receipt of the stored messages. The second option is display the longest message stored. The third option is let the user search using a message ID. The fourth option is let the user search messages for a specific receipt. The fifth option is deletes a message using the message hash. Then the option 6 displays the stored message display the stored message reports. Then option 7 returns the user back to the main menu. So this menu is basically the control center for part 3. So when using option 3 or 5, the user must enter the exact message ID or the exact message hash. So if there is one wrong unit or digits, the app will say it was not found. Now I'll be explaining class 3. Now the message report test part 3 features if they are working correctly. In the test setup method, I add the 5 messages from the POE brief. This includes sent message, stored messages, and disregarded messages. So before each test runs, the arrays are filled with the correct test data. The first test checks that the sent messages array is populated correctly. It expects to see, did you get the cake, and it is dinner time. The next test checks the longest message. It expects the longest message to be, where are you? You are late. I have you to be on time. These are the messages that I took from the POE. Now I am going to be running my app, and that is my final parts for POE. Thank you.